Welcome back on Kababayan Today. We are celebrating, of course, Filipino-American History Month. Here on our show, we have Eloisa Gomez-Bora to talk to us about our rich history in this land called America. Okay, back to it. There's so much to learn, and it's just amazing to me, all this research that you've put together. So let's go back to the old map of West Coast America.
Well, if you look at the West Coast of America, when the galleons would come towards the West Coast, they would try to come to land as soon as they can, and then come down, following the land to Acapulco. That way, they're sort of like in a safe zone. And so we actually have, if they're emergency, they can stop in Morro Bay or whatever. But we have evidence, and this is in the second slide, that galleons actually went as far north as Oregon. They have Oregon shipwreck that they have been able to unearth in Nehalem Bay that shows it's a galleon, possibly carbon dated to about 1707.
Which means there must have been Filipinos
there
on that galleon.
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of the major researchers of that had contacted me and asked me, for a description of what Filipinos would look like then, because he has some things he's been finding. So we never know, they could come up. Then we have this another academic. Dr. James Sobredo, while he was at Cal State Sacramento, had done research on the Filipinos that were on the voyage of Captain Cermeño, who was shipwrecked just in Port Reyes, which is about 15 miles north of San Francisco. And they were marooned there for a month. And he says there were 70 men, and actually there were Filipinos among those 70 men that were shipwrecked. Now, they spent a month in that area, and then finally they built a sort of a flat boat from the wood that they had left, and they found their way down to Acapulco. Okay,
so I have no doubt that Filipinos were one of the first pirates, being shipwrecked.
But the Miwok Indians of that area, they have some Filipino ancestors. The only thing is they don't know how far back those ancestors go. So.
I see. Okay. And then let's move on to this I thought was fascinating. Alam nyo, tayong mga Pilipino, we love to drink, right? And of course, when we talk about our coconut wine, ang tawag doon ay hindi lang banog, kundi tuba.
Well, and it's a Filipino word. It's not a word of any other place but Filipino. So there is this professor, he's emeritus, he's very well-respected geographer, Henry J. Bruman, who he did a boots-on-the-ground study in Mexico, and that map that you're seeing, he has underlined all the places he found where people called coconut wine tuba.
Which means there were Filipinos that inhabited that area, because until now they call it what we call it in our language.
And so they had somehow introduced tuba to that, especially in Colima. Now we also have this is current research. There are a couple of professors at the University of Colima who are researching from Mexican census the early Filipinos in Colima province, because they, according to them, they actually feel that the Filipinos from those ships were introduced coconut to Mexico. And Colima is actually the coconut-growing province of Mexico.
Okay, well, to be able to say ang mga Pilipino ang nagdala ng buko sa Mexico, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Makes me a little proud. A lot prouder, actually. Okay, so the chronology of Filipinos, about, the origins of Filipinos in America pre-1850, this is all research that can be found on Eloisa's website.
Yes, I try to put it all together because people always ask, when did they come? And so I started this, it's actually, I think, 10 years old already, but it gives you an idea of all the Filipinos that were here before the Philippines even was a colony of the United States. So these were, it includes 2 Filipinos who were confirmed by Father Serra when Father Serra did his first Mass in Monterey, setting up the Monterey mission.
So see, mga kababayan, we have been here from time and time before. And that just goes to show you need to do your research. You need to learn about our history. Here on Kababayan Today, we're going to give you more with Eloisa Borja when we return.